All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Green White Checker TV, where tonight we have the Area 51 IndyCar Series here tonight at Auto Club Speedway. It's going to be 125 laps tonight for this evening's event, and as you can see, sun is starting to set at the track, which means I would say sooner or later, but the way it's been lately, it seems like the lights take their sweet time to wake up. So we'll see if these cars get a little dark before the lights kick on. We get to see them nicely under the lights here tonight. But as they go right now, qualifying laps are underway, and this will be race number 7. So after tonight will be the halfway point of the season before we start getting into that second half to go for the championship. And speaking of which, that championship has grown a little bit. Craig Forsyth getting that win last week at Watkins Glen before coming here tonight to Auto Club Speedway now nets him a 63-point lead over Edson Santos, who we know started off extremely strong. In third place is Chris Jabot, up 2 spots with his result. Christopher up 2 as well. Matt Wagner and Jeff Heisung, unfortunately, were 2 that did drop after those races a couple spots themselves. However, the highest climber with finally getting that monkey off his back, I feel like, in that podium, is Daniel Durazo, up 6 spots into the top 15. So a great run by him. So yeah, so we're getting to it. And again, this does not account for drop weeks. Right now, this is basically, if you've run all 6 races, this is based on that. Starting soon, again, they will have 2 drop weeks, so it's going to be their best 12 of the 14 races this season. And so for drivers that maybe have missed a race like Jeff Heisung, that's going to help propel him back a little bit up the running order. So that's where those things will really start to come into play. And of course, if somebody in their 6 races or 7+, if they had a really bad race, same thing, it kind of pretends like that one didn't happen. So a lot's going to change over the course of the season. And, of course, with the finishing up at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And so, unfortunately, we'll not have an Andrew Wood tonight. I say he's got some real-life stuff going on. Nothing bad, but just, unfortunately, not able to make it. Sure, if I'm okay with these guys having lives outside of sim racing and broadcasting. But definitely I'll miss Andrew tonight. But looking forward to it. Sounds like we'll be able to have him full tilt the rest of the season. So we'll be looking forward to having him back in the booth. Strategy-wise tonight, sounds like should be a 3 pit stop race, all things kind of going to plan, which is never the case. If you are the leader and you're just map 1 all the way around the track from the get-go, you can run about 29 laps, but expect these guys in the draft be able to probably run in the 32, 33 lap range, possibly even more depending on the fuel saving strategies. So we'll have to keep an eye on that, but basically should be probably a 3-stop race, all things going normal. Again, from that 29 to 33 plus probably a couple extra range for most of these drivers in our 125 laps this evening. And of course, as always, there is 1 fast repair available for these cars tonight. So if unfortunately someone gets involved in an incident or maybe just has an issue out of one of the turns, get some damage, they can choose if needed and if required to get that damage repaired and get that fast repair and be back with a brand new shiny car. Looking at qualifying though right now, we have about 20 cars that have set a lap in so far. So let's say I think a few of them have been waiting to go as late as they could because, again, temperature is just going to continue to drop a little bit. And it's just about 7 o'clock track time here at Auto Club Speedway. Ambient temperature 86 degrees, track temperature 88 degrees, so very, very equal, and it probably won't really change much from there. It might be settle about at that exact number. So and it looks like we've just about clicked this thing over. So yeah, qualifying has just completed. So we'll get to that starting grid here in just a moment once we get the field up on that front stretch here. Actually, I think in the pits, I should say, for the starting grid for tonight. All right, so as everybody starts to grid up, we will pull up our results for tonight's event. And it is going to be Tristan Forston getting the top spot tonight in that number 12 car. Next to him, Edson Santos, only 21 thousandths out of that top spot. Shane Coker there, Chris Stouffer, Eric Peterson, our top 5. Got Hugo Galaz, Eric Schaus, Ryan Kelly, Craig Forsyth, and John Borst rounding out our top 10 for these drivers this evening. Then in position number 11, row number 6, you've got Jim Herrick and Gary Laverne there in 11th and 12th. Continuing on down the grid, then you have Jeff Hyassong, Larry Yingling, Nicholas Stockner, Nick Cohan, then Frank Irwin Jr., Chris Chabot, Devin Brock, and Bill Burrell there are top 20. Wayne Campbell in 21st, and then some drivers opting not to put down a qualifying lap. We'll see how the strategy plays out for them. Will be Daniel Durazo there in 22nd, Jason Collins 23rd, Matt Wagner 24th, Will Stearns, Joseph Morales, and Charles Teed. So a good number of drivers are opting not to put a qualifying lap in tonight. Again, maybe expecting or a little nervous about some things to start off the race. We'll have to kind of wait and see on that one. Obviously, let's say a very wide track, but again, a lot of aero wash in these cars always can play a role in the way these things go. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. As right now you can see focused on that 32 of Shane Coker here as he waits for the remaining cars here to jump onto the grid. There's our pole sitter though, Tristan Forston in that number 12. As you see a few more cars starting to pop into frame. Looks like we got about 2 more drivers just waiting to hop in here, and then we will get underway. Just saw Edson there pop into frame there in that number 20, and we are about to get that pace car rolling off here. All right, field rolling off for that warm-up lap here at Auto Club. Do have one driver looks like starting from pit lane. That's going to be the number 27 of Devin Brock. And say, get a better angle. There we go. So if you want a paint scheme that has been doing very well this season in the IndyCar series, there's the paint scheme to have, and that is, of course, that number 27 in this case, but the DHL car. Also showing Charles Teed. Did he have a blink or did he jump to the pits? Just a blink. Okay, so Teed is good. But yeah, so on the IndyCar side of things, just what ridiculous season that we've seen out of that DHL car. So I would say if you're way behind, I won't spoil or anything, but really, really good season for him, obviously. All right, as we've talked about before, you can see the gap to the pace car. That pace car is long gone, so that lets the field kind of get themselves a little settled in here. Tristan Forston will be our control car. You see the field starting to just pack up a little bit more. Of course, these guys probably get a little gun shy with the according restarts that we've seen before on some of these races. So right now, looks like all should be well, but you can see a lot of gap right now, honestly, between some of these front rows. A little surprised about that. So we'll have to wait and see how this initial start kicks off. And again, it is Tristan Forston who is our control car. Now he's down and away as we are under green here tonight at Auto Club, looking through the field, and looks like we are looking clean and green as they start to build speed up into turn number 1 for the first time. See the field all coming out of turn number 2. Tires should just about start picking up the temperatures to get a little bit more grip here. We'll see if Tristan can lead lap number 1. Shane Coker is going to try to do so himself here, though, in that number 32 as they come out of 4. Momentum looks like it is going to go the way of that 32, so put Shane to the top spot, and that's just for a brief second because here comes Chris Stouffer. Chris going to jump straight to the front here. If we know somebody that is not one that wants to sit and ride, that is definitely one of those guys, Stouffer for sure. And man, Tristan there almost rim riding there. Almost saw a little spark there out of 2 there, just flirting with the outside wall. These guys giving every inch of track. You can see the lines there as well. Basically, you can see how many lanes they can run should they choose to. And we saw some of those guys using every single lane available. So right now, Stouffer at the point, 3 spots ahead. Jumping a little further down the back, Jason Collins, he's up 6 spots in that number 96 car from where he started tonight. As he's working on the inside there. I believe that's Frank Irwin Jr. there right in front of him. And then the other climber right now, Will Stearns there. We just saw him for a brief second there. And he is up now 8 spots in that number 306. So some drivers that maybe didn't get the qualifying laps they wanted, they're trying to make all the use that they can now of that draft. And then again, same thing. We might see some drivers that are kind of just holding ship, maybe backing it down a little bit, trying to run some numbers here on fuel. And one that I do suspect is the case is that 20 of Edson Santos qualified in second, down to 9th right now. So probably some fuel map strategies going on in that number 20 car, I would presume. But again, right now, Stouffer's just able to set sail right now, controlling the pace. And so what I think a lot of these drivers right now, they're comfortable. Said, all right, you can go ahead and set sail. I'm just going to kind of cruise here for the moment and save some fuel if they can. Again, you want to go at least 32, 33 laps on fuel. That should make that 3-stop window. But like I said, from what I was hearing, if you were just map 1 by yourself, no draft, it might be as low as 29 laps on fuel. So we'll have to keep an eye and see how that all plays out. And of course, also the pit stops, how it will shake out, because I do not believe you can pit under green here and not lose a lap. I saw a big wiggle there in the back there. I think that was Chris Jabot there working with Jason Collins. Had a close call out of 2. Big wobble, able to hang on to it though. As Nicholas Stockner now, he heard me talking about those other guys. He said, I can jump spots too. He is in that 124, that purple and orange machine. He's up 10 spots. And also trying to join that party is Matt Wagner a little further back. He's up 8 spots down in the inside lane there, trying to work underneath John Borst here, work his way up towards that top 10 right now, sitting about 15th position. As right now you can see a big train right now on the top, go where the draft is, and you're going to see just a lot of snaking around, just trying to find anywhere and everywhere you can put your car at the moment. Oh, I think Will Stearns may have caught the wall here. Maybe a little bit of contact. Let's go back. We'll take another look here, see if we can catch it as it occurs. Looking for Will as he comes into turn number 1. Oh, yep, just a little too high. Gets sucked up into that wall. Able to pull it off, though, so I'm looking to see, and we'll go back live. And, yeah, so safely in the draft still, so that's a huge benefit for him. Doesn't lose the draft, and so he's going to be okay in that situation here. But just talking about Nicholas Stockner a moment ago, now he's trying to go for the lead already in that number 124, get around the top side of Chris Stouffer. Right now, Stouffer looks very content to try to keep just running that middle inside line. Matt Wagner, you saw him make a big move to the inside. Talked about trying to go for the top 10. He's already in the top 10, now has his sights set for the top 5. John Borst now working his way up as well, now up 4 spots into 6th. So a lot of comers and goers. Charles Teed as well in the 50 machine. He is up 18, now 19 spots. He and Matt Wagner are charging through the field here in these opening laps. So again, that tells you as well. I still feel like this is a lot of fuel and kind of management strategy. Who's pushing hard early, who's trying to save. And so a lot of movements going on there. You can see Matt again there, goes from top to the bottom here in 3. Puts that 86 in the middle, but it looks like John will clear Eric Schaus, put him to the outside lane, give that little bit of extra breathing room here. And Schaus was one that had climbed up a bunch early, but looks like he's kind of settled back in now in that 72 Hot Wheels machine. Up front, Stockner has taken the lead. Ryan Kelly now working his way up there as well. And then our pole sitter, Tristan Forston, starting to creep back into the picture as well. So we're starting to get a little bit of movement through the field here. And again, these laps click by quick, just over 32, 33 second range. So based on that, we've already got 10 laps under our belt. Start lap 11 now, which means that we're already about a third of the way through this fuel window. So again, pit stops will be looming really shortly. And then going a little further back there, saw some really close racing there. Trying to touch, I think it was Chris Jabot there. Really tight there out of turn 2 once more. Oh, we got trouble in the back there. Just saw it in the corner of my eye. Oh, Bill Burrell there, big hit. Looks like he's gonna, unfortunately, that car is destroyed. He's gonna have to take a tow. I don't think he's gonna be able to drive that thing back. It looks like he wants to, but I don't think it's gonna happen. So let's go back, see if I can get a better look to see. I think he just took the tow now. So let's go focus on Bill here. And I saw it just in the corner of my eye there. And I think we'll see if it just, does that car get too tight? And just gets caught in the back there. And I think maybe it was lifting to try to avoid getting into the back of Larry Yingling. And at that point, unfortunately, just nothing he can do. Huge hit to the inside wall. So unfortunately, a tow for him. So he's going to be put down a number of laps here at this point in the race. As we jump back towards the front here, starting lap number 13. Matt Wagner now trying to charge towards the front in that number 6 up to second place, 22 spots gained here early. As you can see, then again, as the tires are wearing, drivers starting to kind of fan out more and more through the turns here. Starting to see Craig Forsyth, I think, be a little more aggressive, making a few more moves in that number 99, last week's winner, our points leader at the moment. And so, yeah, and I also see him bringing Jim Herrick along for the ride there in that number 40 4D Raceware machine. And again, people have been talking about that Sim Racing Expo coming up. 4D Raceware will be there, so definitely check them out if you get the opportunity to. I believe it's going to be Jim will be there, I believe, as well. Will be that 13 we talked about, Christopher. So it should be a good chunk of guys over there. Should be a lot of fun. If it was closer, I'd definitely be interested in trying to make it an appearance there. But yeah, it'd be fun. I think it's going to be a really fun event to check out. I can't tell you, Bill Burrell has just started rolling out of pit road. And then I think Will Stearns is probably, I think it was Will Stearns that had the contact. And yeah, there you go. Look at the right front there. No wing there on the right front. So that car is just going to be completely plow. And so unfortunately, he's just going to he's basically right now just limping it, waiting and hoping for maybe get a chance at a yellow to be able to pit under yellow, get a front wing replacement. But right now, not able to do so. But right now, let's look out the back here. This is what is out the mirror of that 124 of Nicholas Stockner. And right now you can see he's definitely enjoying what he's got, but he's definitely starting to be a little bit more protective of that inside line. Seems like he's kind of living down here now. So at the moment, looks like we saw drivers kind of giving a little bit of felt like a bobble there entering one. But yeah, these drivers have been giving a lot more room, it seems like. So now he's kind of protecting an inside line, and we'll see about Matt if he wants to try to make a move or does he want to just save fuel. I think we just got the answer there. Looks like Matt's going to try to take that outside line here, but it's, again, momentum versus just outright pace in this shorter distance, and it's going to be tight here at the line. I think Matt will be, just about a nose cone behind there at the line. Stockner still leads. Oh, John Borster trying to work the outside line. Saw for a second that front wing end plate disappeared. Now it's coming on back there strong. So John Borst now making moves as well. I say he's one of the guys I get to chat with a fair bit, talk to him about a bit pre-race. He's usually one of those guys that just goes full fuel save and goes as far as he can. I'm wondering if he said, you know what, I've had a lot of bad luck doing the fuel save, just riding. So I think he's ready to be a little bit racy in that 86. So again, it's a guy I know very well. It's a lot of fun seeing him up front battling with these guys here. But, I mean, look at this field, though, here as we come through the backstretch again. Jason called this close call there. Looked like with Hugo Galaz, nobody able to have really any breathing room. Can't tell you, Will Stearns looks like has hit pit road in that 306. Just couldn't hold on anymore with that damage, as we are now up to lap 1920 next time around. Still Stockner continues to lead. Tristan Forston, our pole sitter, now up into that second spot. Looks like Matt Wagner may be dropping back a little bit here. Man, look at these moves, though. As soon as they see an opening, they are jumping at it here. But I think Matt maybe used his stuff up a little bit. Not sure. But he's going to slot in between the teammates there on the inside lane there. John Borsch now up to third. Nick Cohan working his way up as well in that number 85 machine. He's got Craig Forsyth to his outside. But it does look like there may be some tire wear here. The pace is still very quick, but from what I'm seeing, though, it seems like they can't just run that white line very easily anymore. I'm seeing a lot of drivers start to move around here, try to find that clean air on the front wings of these cars, and you can see just everybody's just trying to find just that little bit of space here. You see the 86 there running about a half a groove up of those two in front of him. Matt went a little higher there as well to try to build that momentum out of four. And it's going to be Stockner now and Forston going for that top spot. As you can see again there, John trying to find some clean air to put on that front wing of the 86 with his teammate right behind him there in that 85 of Nick Cohan. So then we start to look, just right there. You got to be very careful about that apron there. It's easy to straddle that line. These cars, again, we talked about, they do not like the banking transitions. And you see there, Forsen very high there through 1-2. Nick Cohan easily clears. I see Charles Teed starting to peek his nose back into the mix here as well in that 50. Here goes Cohan, going to get a huge run here. He's going to try to run the top side. I think he's going to try to get that big arc through 3 and 4. See if he can get that run coming off the turn. Open it up on exit 2. Not enough momentum to do so. He's going to try to regroup here. Go for it again here down the front stretch. Stockner still leads at the line. And this is also stuff they're going to be putting in their pocket towards the end of this race. Can they maybe try to make a move at the very end? Where do they position their car to win this race here? And so right now you can see, though, that inside line still prevailing nicely for Stockner. But right now, this is this is where I'm the most nervous, because these guys are going through at almost a little bit of contact there, possibly with the 72 and the 87. And so I think Chris Jabot, he sees his teammates up there having fun. He's going to try to join the party as well, because right now they sit 2nd, 5th, and 8th right now with those 3 cars. And so, yeah, so I think he's ready to have a little bit of fun as well with his teammates. And right now, like I said, it's really just... it's about momentum and the strategy. See, Nick there was just a nose ahead there entering turn 3. Short distance always going to be obviously the way to go through the turns. It just really depends on if that 124 can keep the momentum up on the exit. And so far, he has been able to. So right now, again, it looks like track position is definitely going to be king here at the moment here at Auto Club. But man, I'm looking further back though, and it seems like the further back you go, I mean, and it is the case, the further back you go, the more the dirty air is going to be affecting you. But these guys, I mean, they're going at it right now tooth and nail. There's really not a lot of saving. And even if you are trying to save, it's still a very dangerous place to be trying to do so as these guys continue to fight for position. So some of the guys that I'm still watching a little bit that I feel like might be on save mode is Daniel DeRozzo. And Daniel's one that I usually kind of chalk up to being a more aggressive driver, tries to make moves early, be up front, and control things. But I don't know, right now I feel like he might just be in a big cruise control mode, really start to put his pace on later on in the run once the pit stop cycles begin. As we'll go back up front, because I was mentioning Chris Jabot trying to join up with his teammates. He has done so. He's found Nick Cohan here. They're going to try to maybe see if they can work together. Again, can't really do any tandem drafting with these cars, but he's going to see maybe he can try to work his way into it as well. As look at how wide these guys are going. Chris is going up top. You saw Treston even higher. Jim Harrick goes right there as well, as these guys are just, again, trying to find anywhere and everywhere to position these cars here. Stouffer's been pretty content to cruise in that middle lane, or sorry, the inside lane, I should say, at the moment. But yeah, right now these guys are definitely giving it everything they have here. And we still do have pretty much the top 23 drivers all in this main pack. Do need to go back. Ryan Kelly, he is unfortunately off this main pack. Trying to take a look at the car. It doesn't look too worse for wear. I'm not sure, unfortunately, what's happened to the 33. But we'll see. Of course, things will change at some point, most likely in this race. So we'll have to see. Hopefully, Ryan able to recover from that. And again, though, these guys are all knowing that pit stops will be looming in probably about the next, I would say, 3 to 5 laps. We'll really start to see drivers come in. And that's where communication is going to really be critical, where you got to call out your pit stops with the drivers. Give them, I'd say, at least a half a lap warning. Ideally, by the time you enter 3, let them know you're pitting. That's going to allow the other drivers to move maybe up a groove to have some room. Because, again, these cars are not easy to get on off of pit road. Again, I harp on it every time. These cars do not react well to banking transitions. And just for the numbers that I was telling you about, the 29 laps, if you're leading all these laps by yourself, Devin Brock, he has just hit pit road. He started from the pits, and so he's pretty much been having to go map 1 by himself from the get-go here. And so that tells you right there that, yeah, it's going to be about 29 laps if you go full rich on fuel. And as I say that, look at Jason Collins. He's trying to work the middle here, trying to work his way up right as the pit cycle is going to open. There's definitely that strategy of trying to get as far forward as you can before you hit pit road here. But however, based on what I'm seeing, I think this car we're looking at was going to be the first pin. Here he comes. It is going to be Nicholas Stockner. Looks like so far nice, clean entry. Didn't see anything that looked troubling to me. So a great entry by that 124 car. That's going to put Nick Cohan now to the point. He was able to kind of, I wouldn't say protect the inside line, but he was able to kind of be the first car to run that inside line there after the Stockner pits. So now it's going to be the question of how much further can these other drivers go. And what I really want to see is for Nick Stockner is going to be how quick can he get in and out of pit road without losing a lap. And I think he's had an issue on getting into pit road unless I'm just really delayed. But I really feel like he is going to have a longer pit stop because by the time he got into the jack, seemed a lot later than I expected. Ryan Kelly as well is on pit road. I can tell you pit lane total time for Stockner was 50.65 seconds. So we'll see if that is the norm or not for some of these guys. Again, waiting to see who's the next to blink, and it looks like we're going to have a couple teammates in together, and that is going to be that 86 there. That is going to catch, I think that's going to be Cohan and Wagner getting together. Going to have to try to get both those cars spun back around here. We do stay green. You can see Durazo on pit road. I think Jabot just gets through that unscathed. Durazo able to as well, but again, may cause them a little bit of lost time on that pit entry for those two. Obviously, it's going to likely be faster pairs for the 85 and the 6. As we get, again, here comes another one. Our pole sitter, that looked like a late entry a little further back here, but looks like so far, again, hopefully everybody get down to speed, but it's very nerve-wracking trying to make these pit stops here with the field as they are. Now you got Forsyth and Collins. Forsyth able to clear the 96, put Craig up to the point now. And again, still these drivers have yet to make their pit stops, so we got to really wait for everything to cycle through to get an exact number of how many laps they can go, how far they've gone. Here comes Craig. He's going to hustle it down in there with that 96 right behind him. Also add Joseph Morales. He's going to pit right behind those guys as well. And you can see how far forward that pit speed cone is. That's a very, very early pit cone to get slowed down for. So a really tough spot for that to happen here. As you can see, Edson now taking the point. And again, look at the timing and scoring as well on the left. You can see if you pit, it looks like you will indeed go one lap down here in this one. So that is also the risk of having to pit before the others. Oh man, here comes pretty much the field here on pit road. Looks like everybody able to get in smoothly. Eric Schaus, though, he has just been sipping gas in that Hot Wheels machine. Looks like he is going to wind up rolling out of here, trying to go that one extra lap, which would bring him to 37 laps on fuel. He's at Craig Forsyth there spinning on the pit exit. I think he almost got into the Jason Collins. Jason, not sure what's happened to Jason. That car has no pace. And unfortunately, I think Craig's had to tow because of this. Still no yellows. It's happened off the racing surface. Schaus on pit road. Let me go back and see if I can catch that one last time, unfortunately, for Craig. Because, yeah, there was something that's happened to Jason Collins. Let's see if I can go and find it here, ideally. So let's go to Jason. It's already occurred here, so let's go back. Something's happened to the 96 car. So you can see Craig there in just for a split second. He's going, he's like, wait a second, I got to get around this guy. And so he tries to jump to the outside, and you can see he catches the banking transition. And I think we're going to see him make some pretty decent contact to the inside wall. Yep, indeed we are. And I think that's basically forced him to take a tow, but the car actually disappears there. So let's jump back live, though, because pit stop cycles have officially completed. And it is going to be, at the moment, looks like possibly Chris Jabot going to take the top spot in the 87 car. Edson Santos, again, he has been quiet so much this night. And then now he's able to basically had a great pit stop in and out. Now he's up in the front runners. And it looks like we're going to have about 10 cars in this lead pack here from Chris Jabot to Gary Laverne. And then it's going to come back a couple seconds back to Larry Yingling here. John Borst, Shane Coker are going to be the next 3 pack of drivers here. And then you go another 3 seconds back to Stockner, Ryan Kelly, Frank Irwin Jr. there, which I got to say, a really good job by Ryan, though, with as far as he fell off the draft to even be in this 3 pack of drivers here. So However, up front, though, Tresson Forson, he's now found his way to the front in that 12. He's got Daniel DeRozzo with him, and Daniel's going to jump to the inside. Talked about him taking it easy. He's changed his mind. He's going to go for it now. He takes the point in that number 2. And I do believe we've had a few issues during that pit stop cycle. I'm going to try to jump back and catch a couple of them. We'll start with Jason Collins again. We had mentioned that one. Okay, that's where he just takes a tow. But I think I had caught another one. Or is this the same one here? That's the same one. Apologies. It auto cycles it back for me sometimes. So I think I'd seen... Yeah, I think Jim Herrick has also had a moment here. And it's the same thing. I'm almost wondering if some of these guys if their cars aren't getting fueled, or if something is strange going on with this, because it looks like pretty much the exact same thing that happened to Jason Collins. So we'll maybe have to go try to quiz some guys here, and I'll see if maybe if Jim Herrick is around, if maybe he'd be okay if I grab him, just to see if we can get a little bit of insight. He's still sitting on pit road, so I'm gonna see if maybe he'd be willing to chat with us here, because he's still on pit road there in that number 40. I don't see him in the car, so let me see if we can steal this fella here. I hate putting drivers on the spot, but would love to know what's going on there. Also, maybe get a little bit of insight for him with the Craig situation as well. So we're gonna give it a try. Jim, I guess first off, wanted to see if you are around by chance, sir.
I'm here.
All right, so we've seen a couple of weirdness on the pit exit there. One happened to you, it looked like, another to Jason Collins. Was this a situation that it just didn't pit or fuel you during a pit stop, or what happened there for you guys?
No, I don't know. It's a messed up situation. I came in hot from the pits. I'm not sure who that was in front of me. Tristan maybe. Anyway, he checked up earlier than I expected. I kind of had to duck around him, but I was also trying to get to the pits, and then my entrance was kind of hot, so I passed him, but then I overslowed because I didn't want to get the speeding penalty, and he ended up on my inside, and right as I was about to dive into my pits, I realized that I'm going to wreck us, and he didn't back off, so I didn't really know what to do. I went straight through the pits, but I didn't have enough gas to get around, so I just had to park it.
Okay, and I saw I'll just see maybe if something similar to Jason Collins. And as we were talking, I'm not sure if Teed maybe had a hardware failure, so I saw that car just kind of go left on its own down into the grass, and unfortunately I have a feeling we're about to see him reappear in a bad spot there. So I hate it, Jim. However, while I have you, so I'm gonna let you. Let's say we were talking about 4D Raceware and some of the sim racing expo that is coming up soon. So I don't know if you want to give any more info on that event that's coming up here shortly.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we're gonna be at the Sim Gaming Expo in the Chicago Schaumburg Convention Center. That's September 5th through 7th. There will be all sorts of different simulation software and hardware companies there, showing off all the latest and greatest, from flight sim and sim racing to the farm simulators and life simulators, the whole 9 yards. So we're really looking forward to having a booth there, meeting a lot of the sim racing community. We'll have t-shirts, we'll have our shoes, we'll have gloves for sale. So you'll be able to come there, and if you want to check them out in person, try on a pair, feel free, come out and see us. We also have a discount code. You can get 10% off on your tickets if you use code 4DR10, I believe. I think you guys might have a graphic for that. If not, I'll make sure I get you one. But yeah, hope everybody comes out there and checks out the expo. It should be really cool. It's the first one of its kind in the United States, so we're all really looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun for sure. And Yeah, and then I got to see the new website refresh. We talked about that pretty recently too, and it looks really really good. So no, I'm looking forward to all the things coming here soon, Jim. So I hate that you had the bad luck tonight, like I said, but nice part is we're only half the way through the season after this one, so still plenty of racing left to go, obviously, after this one. But yeah, I hope you have a great time over there. Like I said, I wish I was closer so I could join in and come visit you guys, but maybe in one of the future ones for sure. But I'll let you get back over to your team, Jim, but I really do appreciate your time, sir.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me up here. It's unfortunate what happened tonight. It's just, I don't know, it's one of those things. I was going to have to, tow under green, so I just kind of parked it. I've had kind of a hard night, so I'm going to spot the rest of the team and hope the rest of the team has a good race. So thanks again, and you guys have a good night.
Thank you, Jim. You too, sir. Appreciate you hopping in, and yeah, I'm sure the team appreciates you helping out the rest of the way, sir. All right, that is Jim Herrick there again. He is the 4D racewear man, really really cool dude, and like I said, definitely check them out if you're looking for gloves or shoes or whatever you might need. They got more stuff coming soon as well. So that's Jim Herrick in that number 40. As you saw the caution there come out, something happened, unfortunately, hardware-wise. I'm assuming for Charles Teed, kind of came in, not sure where that car disappeared to, and then came on back. And yeah, unfortunately, it looks like that might be night over for Teed. And then, yeah, so I'm still very intrigued on what's gone on there for Jason Collins as well. We saw the issue that he had, and then Craig attempting to react to it, and unfortunately, him catching the inside wall. And then, so right now that's got the 27 Devin Brock one down, Craig Forsyth one lap down. And so a few drivers there hitting pit road. Actually, the only driver not pitting is this man right here, Larry Yingling. He's going to be our control car on this restart. And then we are going to get back away. Everybody else pitting at 44, Larry at 35. John Borst topped off there on lap 45, so just one extra lap there for him. Again, won't make a huge difference, but maybe some strategy he's looking at there. As Larry, of course, like I said, has control here and should go when he wants to. And he is indeed down and away. Restart here at lap number 47 of 125. Actually, Craig Forsyth on pit road as we speak. Again, not sure if strategy on this one. Maybe he was trying to take a wave around and then jump in. I'm not sure. So things have kind of got a little bit unglued here, it seems like, on this first run. And you also see a huge separation right now with Eric Peterson to Hugo Golaz, about 1.3 seconds. And then it's another about 1.4 from Gary Laverne to Ryan Kelly. So right now these guys are starting to spread out a little bit. And Craig's still on pit road, so I don't think this is a planned situation for that 99 either. So yeah, unfortunately, it's been a tough night for a couple of the 4D guys here this evening. Also now have the 32 and the 27 on pit road. So again, like I mentioned, just something going on here. Craig just now rolling back out of pit road, and based on the lap time, that's about a 16-second stop. Wondering if an odd pit penalty, something along those lines. And I'll watch to see if it compares with the 32 and the 27 potentially have, because if that's the case, it seems like there's maybe an odd penalty during this whole cycle here that may put them in a bad spot. But really, really tough break for those guys. Like I said, in a good spot there for some of them, and also some for others, maybe putting kind of salt in the wound for a few as well. However, back up front, Tristan Forson is our leader. What you do see right in front of him, though, that is Jason Collins. And right now, Jason is going to try to fight for all he is worth, because he is trying to basically get one of his laps back. Again, we talked about that. We saw the situation on pit exit with he and the 99. So right now, he is a couple laps down, trying to see if he can get some of those back. And again, if he can stay ahead of the leaders, if there's a caution at the time of the yellow, he would basically get that full lap all the way back here. So that's exactly what he is trying to attempt to do in that number 96. And right behind him, though, is the battle for the lead right now. You got Tristan Forson, Daniel Durazo, Christopher, Larry Yingling. We mentioned he stayed out, so he's got about 9 laps less fuel than these guys that topped off. I think Chris Jabot, Edson Santos, Eric Peterson, and then Hugo Golaz has caught back up to this pack along with Eric Schaus and Gary Laverne. But then you look at the separation here. Now this is where some teamwork might have to work here. If they can maybe try to do some swap drafts, something along those lines, that may give them a chance to get back up there. Right now, they're sitting at about a little over 3 seconds back. Oh, a couple cars hit the wall. They're out of turn number 4. And that looked like some pretty significant hits. That might be enough to cause some body damage. And I'm trying to take a look here, trying to do what Andrew Wood would do, and that's kind of look at the sides of those cars and see if those pods are okay or if they're a little bit hurt. And honestly, can't tell very well, so we'll just have to watch and see how the pace of those cars go. But right now, though, that gap has not really shrunk, and eventually they're going to have to get organized and say, okay, let's figure out what's the fastest way to do this. We got to work together to try to catch this main pack here. So right now, like I said, I'm looking at lap times. Treston last lap ran at 32.95. Matt Wagner 32.95. So exact same times for the top 2 drivers that are leading these groups. So we'll see who's able to maybe make something happen here. Looks like Stockner's taken back over that top spot there for them. And you can see now, I think this is the attempted organization here, possibly for that swap draft. You can see right behind him, though, I believe that is Will Stearns, who's jumped along there as well, following through. So again, these guys had to make sure they're not fighting and trying to actually work together to close that gap. And again, this time around, it was 33.01. So no, looks like right now that lead pack is actually building a gap on these guys. And we're going to go to that lead pack because look at this fight for the top spot here. You got Durazo on the inside, Treston Force in middle, Chris Jabot's running that top side, and then put in Peterson Stouffer into that mix as well. So yeah, right now you got a good fight for the front here. And again, now it's going to be that balance of fuel saving versus aggression. So we'll kind of have to watch to see. I think Larry Yingling, he's probably on the fuel saving side of things. Again, he stayed out, and honestly, probably a great call because he's in this lead pack. The other group, again, they're now over 4 seconds behind. So right now, the gamble for Larry, he's going to have to pit earlier than everybody else, but it's got him in this top 10 pack ahead of that second group. Again, 3 wide here for the front. You've got Jabot now on the inside, Durazo middle, and Forston on the top. And of course, short distance, Chris should get the lead here out of turn number 2. But again, though, he's going to have a little less momentum than that 2 car in the middle lane. And then you can see Stouffer there now. Yingling also now down to the inside lane. So really it just seems like they just go wherever kind of the opportunity presents itself. So, but yeah, right now it's really just kind of this 10-car breakaway, like I said. It looks like they've switched up a little bit now at the front. I also saw for a moment Frank Irwin Jr. was leading that pack. It's now back to Matt Wagner again. And lap time wise, last time Matt was a little quicker. It's a 32.96 for him. Again, it's hard to exactly nail down who's the one leading the groups, but what I have been able to do is kind of watch the gap between the front car of this pack and the last car of this pack. And I mentioned at one point it was over 4 seconds. It's down to about 3.5, 3.3 now. So I think they are starting to do some work here to get back up there. Like I said, they're got to try to work together. It really seems like right now there's a little bit of indecision who's going to be the lead driver, who's going to push and then do the swap and then try to charge that gap back down. So they need to get a little more organized here. And I do wonder also, are we starting to see this lead pack react to this? Because now I'm seeing a little bit more organization and maybe even some swap drafting going on from Treston and Daniel here. So we'll have to watch again and see. I'm curious to see if this is kind of part of the strategy. And yeah, this 100% looks like swap drafting from these top 2 as well, trying to see if they can keep this gap built on these 2 that are trying to work the same swap draft here, Stockner and Irwin Jr. So again, with the pit stops there, you can see the gap there nicely down the back stretch. But again, with the pit stops at lap 44, that should mean that the next set of pit stops should be in the 70, I'd say 77 range for those that are maybe saving a little bit of fuel. And again, for those that are going kind of full send though, that's going to be probably pretty much lap 73, 74 for those that are probably having run map 1 full tilt here. And then the question mark, of course, will be Larry Yingling. How far can he go? I would say he could probably go to about lap 70 if he's able to save well in that number 67 car. So again, we'll just kind of have to wait and see. But like I said, I do think I'm seeing some cooperation here. They build that lead back up from the two groups because you can, like I said, they're not running the inside line. They're not protecting the bottom. They're working together here where the 2 runs through, rolls back up top here. The 12 gets that big draft down the back, and they return swap every set of straightaways basically. What I have not done, and I was talking to him pre-race, is there is a paint scheme here that was set up just for Andrew Wood, who's not here tonight, and that is Jeff Heisung. He's got that in and out machine there. Again, we're here at California, probably one of the staples of fast food. It's one of those ones where it's like, oh, if you're on the West Coast, you got to stop in and out. So say you got Heisung here repping the restaurant there. That is a pretty popular one here out in the West Coast. So you know what? Let's do that. With the swap drafting, let's show off some paint schemes. Let's show off some drivers. And we're going to start off with, at the moment, we'll start with the pole sitter, Tristan Forson. Currently our leader for about another 2 seconds. And then is going to now be Daniel Durazo leading the way here in that number 2 machine who we've talked about. Chris Jabot sitting in 3rd in that number 87 car. Then you got Eric Peterson in 4th in his number 36. Chris Stouffer, 40 Raceware number 13. And then Edson Santos, outside front row starter, now up in the front pack here. Again, I think he was doing some strategy during the pit stop cycles, worked his way back up right outside the top 5. Larry Yingling in that 67 car sits in 7th again. He stayed out under that yellow. He's got about a 10-lap deficit on fuel, but I'm sure is definitely sipping fuel now, just trying to stretch it out as far as he can as we just cross the halfway point. Behind him is that number 34, Gary Laverne here. He sits in the 8th position. Right behind him, the Hot Wheels machine of Eric Schaus in the 9th spot. And then Hugo Galaz there in the top 10 here in that number 57 car. And then again, talked about that gap. It has grown since that swap draft began. It's now back up to about that 4-second mark. As at the moment, it's actually now Nick Cohan leading it in that number 85 on the inside line. Next to him is Nicholas Stockner in the 124. We saw him lead laps early on in this race. And then now leading that pack because they keep just jumping around. It's going to be Matt Wagner in the number 6 car. He is currently 11th. Again, kind of ebbing and flowing as they do the swap drafts. Frank Irwin Jr. here in the 44 there, sitting about 14th at the moment. Will Stearns, we saw him have that front wing damage earlier in the race, is still in the top 15 though. Then you got the 42 of Wayne Campbell in 16th position. Ryan Kelly, talked about him losing the draft early. He's still in this pack though. He sits in 17th in that number 33. We just talked about Jeff Heisung in that second pack as well. 18th position for car number 18. John Borst in the 19th spot. I think he looks cruise control to me. I think this is probably some big fuel save. Said, you know what? We're not really in a good spot to catch this group. Let me just do what I can here. Let me save some fuel in this 86 car. Stay in the back too, just in case they start to draft a little bit too aggressively. And I think Joseph Morales is on the same mindset as that in the 60, just thinking, you know what? Let me just put myself in a safe spot here. Then we jump over to cars that are not having such a good time. Shane Coker is one of those. He sits in the 21st position. He is the only car 1 lap down. And then Craig Forsyth, another one of those having a tough time. He is now 2 down in the number 99. Jason Collins in this main pack here. He sits 3 laps down in the 96 car. Bill Burrell, we saw his contact earlier, unfortunately, in the 24th position there. Also, I believe 3 down. And then Devin Brock in that 27 car is also 3 down here this evening. Early retirement for Charles Teed in that number 50 car. Jim Herrick, obviously we chatted to a little earlier, not the night he was hoping for either. So that is the field. We still have, like I said, we have 20 cars on the lead lap, 25 cars still in this race, as we have now 57 to go, starting lap number 69. And again, I talked about the fuel mileage. Larry Yingling, I would expect to see him in probably the next lap or 2 in that number 67 machine. So we'll be keeping an eye closely on this guy. Looks like Larry's going to continue to stretch a little further. And again, with 70 to go, we got 56 to go on lap 70. This is still pretty much a two-stop race for everybody here to the end. They won't be able to make it to the end from this point on. And that's where I am really curious to see how far can some of these guys potentially stretch it. Again, talking about pitting a lap 44, that means they could probably go to about lap 70, 74, 75. I think you're going to see Larry peel in here based on where he is on track. And yep, here you go. Larry's going to come in with 56 to go. But again, importantly, in the main pack there, it looks like nice and safe at the cones. So now Larry's just got to drive through, get his pit stop done, and then hope that the rest of the way cycles through because, again, he will go down one lap here. But yeah, what I'm really curious, though, is can anybody stretch this enough to make it on to the end? And my answer is I'm going to say 99% no, but I'm just curious to see how short can somebody make that potential final stop to maybe try to pull some strategy out of their hats. So up front, though, it is still Treston Forson, Daniel Durazo, Larry Yingling actually just rolling out of pit road now. So again, like I said, that's going to put him one down. But we'll see how quick he can get up pit road here. But if he could tag on to these guys, this could actually be a really good opportunity for Larry here. And I think he's going to do so. He's going to grab Ryan Kelly, his teammate, as well. This could actually be really good news for Larry because he's going to have plenty of draft as well. And so we'll see once everything cycles through, we'll see what his pace looks like. But that could put Larry right back at the front of this pack here once the pit stop cycles complete all the way through. Oh, saw a little bit of aero wash there from Chris Jabot there with Eric Peterson to his outside. Had to lift a little bit. That's going to allow Peterson to clear him in the 36 car. And again, still watching the gap. It's still hovering right around that 3 to 4 second window. Kind of ebbs and flows. But what I do see is here you go. Pit stops are happening. We talked about the swap drafters. They're going to come in together here. The 2, the 12, and add Jason Collins to the mix as well. And then a little bit further back, same thing here. Matt Wagner is going to come in early. That's going to put Chris Jabot to the point now. Eric Peterson next to him. And then Christopher Edson Santos. Now, again, the window has opened here. This is 74, so it's about what I said based on how hard they were pushing. And so they could run 30 laps on the dot. So now I watch these guys who maybe were saving a little bit. I'm watching, is Chris going to come in this time? No, he's going to continue out another lap. For a moment, looked like he might jump in early. Let's look at the second pack. Any takers? Answer is also no. But I think we're going to see a bigger swing on pit road than we did before. And then the other thing I want to compare is here's Treston Forson. He's the first out of pit road. Here comes that second pack being led by Stockner. What I'm looking for is Larry Yingling. Where is he in this mix? He is right there. So yeah, Larry's going to come out right with him. So not a huge gain, but at the same time, like I said, though, he is right back with these leaders as the 12 had pitted from the lead. Now Chris Jabot is on pit road in that in the 87. Got it woed down nicely in time. Stockner in as well. That puts Eric Peterson to the point as we have 50 to go. However, with this main pack getting smaller and smaller, the gap has started to shrink a little bit. Now it's Nick Cohan leading that second pack. It's down to just over 3 seconds gap between them. And last time by, they were about 0.2 of a second quicker. And so what I'm watching here, actually, as I say that, Cohan's going to hit pit road. He's going to bring, it looks like, Will Stearns along with him. But I was going to say is what I've been watching, though, is you aren't seeing that swap draft happening anymore from this lead pack. What this group here needs to start doing is if they can start working that swap draft, you see Larry Yingling, he's kind of taking control of this one. But if they can continue to try to swap draft, this could be something to get them right back in the mix here. So it looks like possibly Frank Irwin and Larry Yingling are. Here comes Peterson. He's going to hit pit road 49 to go. So now it's just, like I said, this lead pack, these guys have been saving a lot of fuel here in these cars. So we're going to be going to lap 78. So they've already gone about 34 laps on fuel. I do need to mention Wayne Campbell, Ryan Kelly also had hit pit road from that second pack. So that leaves 5 left here in this first pack. And you can see the gaggle here. It almost makes this second pack here a little bit more stressful, truthfully, because you've got some who have pitted, you have some who haven't pitted. And so if you're on the group that hasn't pitted, you want to try to find somewhere safe to put your car. And as I say that, here comes Frank Irwin Jr., Jeff Hyasung, Joseph Morales, as well as, couldn't catch you that. I think it was Bill Burrell, who also hit pit road. So now the only drivers left to pit are in this top 5 group are these 5 right here. You can see Stouffer, Santos, Laverne, Schaus, Galaz. And the second pack, it's just John Borst. He has yet to make his second to last pit stop in the 86 car. So right now that is the group we're looking at. As I say, here comes Stouffer in as we speak. We'll see if Borst, nope, Borst's going to continue on here. So really good field saving by these guys. And again, though, 46 to go. They're not going to be able to run 46 laps on fuel, but they can make that final pit stop possibly extremely short. So we're going to watch, see if we see anybody peel off this time around. And the answer is going to be yes, 3 of the 4. You got Santos, you got Laverne, you got Galaz all hitting pit road here. There's Borst in the background. He's going to come in as well. And so that's going to leave, once again, Eric Schaus. He is just sipping fuel in that Hot Wheels 72 car. He's going to run that one extra lap here once more. And he will be pitting coming to lap 82. And that's going to be a great opportunity for him. So again, can't make it to the end of the field. It's going to be 44 to go when he pits, but it will really shorten that pit stop should he choose to, and it'll really open up some opportunities as well. So here comes Eric here. He's going to come in for his second to last stop. There comes the pack behind him, and that is going to now put the battle for the lead here between Durazo. You've got on the middle there, Forsen on the outside, Chris Chabot running the top side. And then again, talk about Larry Yingling off sequence, but is still in this pack for the win of this race as well. And so this is a great battle here. And I got to say, the look behind, though, bring some guys back into this one potentially, because now you're going to have what I like to call the draft ladder. Stouffer's within a second. He's good to go. But then you look at Gary Laverne. He's about 2.5 seconds. And so what I'm watching to see is, can some of these guys pull right back in? You can see also Edson, though, he's actually lost this group. So these two need to work together to try to close back up. But this group here, though, this is huge for them. They're able to try to see if they can chase them back down. They've closed the gap on Hugo. That could then propel them up even further. Unfortunately, one that did go pretty far, but it looks like it's maybe potentially cost them a lot of draft position, is the 86 of John Borst, because he's about 2.5 seconds back of that lead pack. So not what he was hoping for during that pit stop cycle. But as it runs, it's going to change. But as it runs right now, it's a 6-car lead battle from Tresson Forsen to Chris Stouffer. I'm gonna say good evening, home defender. Yeah, I'll say that's awesome. I hope you're enjoying iRacing. It's a lot to learn. Obviously, it's been out for a long time. I've been a part of it for longer than I can remember. But yeah, no, this is a really, really good group of guys. And honestly, this is one of those things, if you want to talk to some of the admins and such, I mean, they can maybe even get it where if you want to just kind of run some practices just to kind of get a feel for things. I'll say I'm probably putting words in their mouth, but yeah, this is a great group of guys over here. We definitely, it's definitely been a great job by Craig and all the admins, Matt Wagner last season. So if you're interested, the website for the league is Area51DarkHorse.com. And then the link to the Discord's in there. And then, yeah, you can reach out. Oh, as I say there, Jason Collins and Chris Chabot. I believe that was a very close call between the two of them. But yeah, I'd say if you want to reach out, though, to the admins, and definitely be cool to get some new attention over here. And there's a lot of other really good open wheel leagues as well. I know Matt Wagner's running one on Wednesday nights. And there's definitely a few other ones. These guys run a lot of indie leagues over here. So really cool to have you over here on the channel, and I'm really glad to have you over on the iRacing. Hope you're enjoying it. And yeah, like I said, feel free to reach out if you have any questions. We're definitely here to help as best you can. See, oh man, Chris Chabot's going to try to hang on to it here. Caught the apron. Now he's able to get back to the middle. I talked about that banking transition. Just got a little bit two tires on the white. Pulled him right down into that apron, and it's really scary to try to get it back lined up. But what I can tell you is we're back to top 10 here in the main pack here. Now Gary Laverne in that mix. Eric Schaus, I talked about, he's gone the furthest of anybody on fuel. And also Edson Santos, I'd mentioned, was a little off. Now he's back there. But unfortunately, that second pack, it's holding pretty steady here. It looks like it's sitting again back about that 3 to 4 second window. So that said, though, we're getting down to it here. We're 39 to go at the line. Again, I talked about, so basically the fuel window to the end opens in 10 laps. However, if you're in this top 10 pack here, I do not think you pit early. Because like I said, if it's a Indy, if it's a Pocono where you can pit and not lose a lap, maybe. At an Auto Club, I don't think you do it, because as soon as you do, if there's a caution, you're trapped that lap down, you have to wave around, and you get sent all the way to the back. So I don't think that's going to be the call here. What I think is going to be the call is I watch those drivers. Like I said, Eric Schaus is one that I really have circled. He ran the farthest of anybody on fuel. He's going to be able to put the least amount of fuel into the car on his final stop. And he's going to be able to just continue to save fuel in these cars as we get to the closing stages of this race. So I really like the idea for possibly some really short pit stops. And I've been looking at pit lane time total, which includes the entry and also the exit of pit road along with their pit stops. And it's pretty much in the 42 to 44 second window. So really, I mean, the one who actually really nailed their in and out and everything is Gary Laverne, that 34. He had 41.6 for total pit lane time. A lot of the other drivers, like I said, were, I think the next closest to him was 42.80s. So he was over a second faster in and out of pit road than his competition. So that's what Gary's got to do as well. And he only pitted one lap before Schaus. So he pitted with Edson and Hugo. So big, great job there to Gary. So again, so he needs to get one more of those here. And again, window opens in about 7 laps, I would say you can safely make it. However, I think without any drafting help, the answer is going to be, though, you do not want to save. You don't want to pit early. You want to make sure you have draft to work with. Again, I'm looking at cars that are running off on their own, and they just don't have the same lap time. Craig Forsyth, he's running 33.19s to these guys running 33.0s. Mentioned John Borsch, same thing, 33.01 last time by, but the guys in front of him are in the 32 second bracket. So you're going to want, I think that kind of tells us the answer right there. If you pit early, you got to have somebody that you can trust, that you can swap draft with potentially. But I think what you do right now is either be up front, try to control the pace and have that track position. Otherwise, just save as much fuel as you can to shorten that final pit stop as much as possible, as we are down to 34 to go here. So I'll kind of show off a few of our drivers one more time for the kind of the climbers and everything. Daniel Durazo right there in that 2 car. He's up 20 spots at the moment into second. Chris Jabot is making that big move to the outside. He is up 15 positions right now, currently in third. Larry Yingling, talked about him earlier there with his pit strategies, currently sitting in 6th. He's up 8 positions from his starting spot. Then we get back to that second pack there, and you've got the number 6 and the number 306. Both those guys are up 11 positions to 13th and 14th. And Joseph Morales, he's up 9 spots into that 17th position. Again, he's right there in the second pack. So right now he's 17th. It can go all the way up to 11th. That's the amount of cars in this main pack here. So, and you can see John there. He's just so tantalizing and close. But again, the draft window in these cars is about 1.5-ish seconds. And right now he sits about 3 seconds off of Ryan Kelly, unfortunately. All right, so again, I'm looking at the laps, and again, so right now, Durazo, Forsen, they're running hard. They're not saving. They pitted at 73. That tells me that their next pit stop will be lap 102, so that's 8 laps away. That would be when I think they pretty much have to come in, just based on the way they're racing, how much fuel they're burning, being up front, not really saving or swap drafting, anything like that. So I think that's what I expect to see from these two, is that lap 102 margin. So again, about 7 laps from now is when I expect to see them come in. And again, I got to give a huge shout out to Larry Yingling. Like I said, he did not pit that previous yellow, and that kept him, it let him control the restart. He had the lead, and that also let him stay in that main pack, as you can still see that separation from the restart, have not been able to recover from it. And so for Larry, He went all the way to lap 70 despite having about a 9-lap disadvantage on fuel. And so he was able to really save, and I'm sure he's doing the exact same right now in that 67 car. So I would expect to see Larry probably in the similar boat, probably pitting around lap 102 or so, possibly even further, just again because he's been in this great pocket that he's been able to cycle into. So again, great job by him. And then looking at the cars that have had a tough night right now, Frank Irwin Jr. is the first of those. And that said, though, he is now 2 laps down. So there are 0 cars 1 lap down. The first car 2 down, though, is that number 44 here, Frank Irwin Jr. And we mentioned Craig Forsyth. He had that incident coming out of pit road as he and Jason Collins kind of just wound up kind of together there, with Jason having some sort of a hiccup. Not sure if he ran out of fuel or what happened. Craig tried to get around him, unfortunately spun out. And so that put Craig in that tough spot as well. However, this time by, like I said, we're 29 to go now. Pit road window is officially open. Now it's just who's going to blink first. And like I said, I don't think anybody pits until they absolutely have to, because you don't want to put yourself trapped a lap down longer than you have to, just in case. If I recall correctly, one of the drivers I chat with, one of the IndyCar broadcasters I believe calls it the danger zone of basically when you pit versus when the rest of the field might pit. Usually it's in the opposite situation for cautions, where if you pit on your final stop, if you stay out, you're afraid of that yellow to then make you pit under yellow and fall behind the field. This is kind of the opposite of that, where if you pit early, that's where the danger is. As you can see here, they come together once again here. That's that 2 and the 12 working together, it seems like, very well. And a little earlier than I expect. Like I talked about lap 102, they come in at 99 here. So again, they're easily good to the window. But what I do like is they came in together. So if they can come in and out in good unison here, start that swap draft right away, that could be the move here to be in that top spot to try to win this race. Looks like no response from the leaders here, so nobody's jumped back in. Now we go back to the strategy here. Do these two come out together? Yes, look at this. Come out perfectly together. Looks like Durazo's going to jump ahead of Forston. And now what we watch to see is on the back side of things, can they tag onto the back of Ryan Kelly? And I'm going to say, yeah, easily they're going to tag onto these guys. So really good opportunity for these guys here. This could be a good chance to try to win this race, maybe a race-winning move. Chris Chabot, he's going to wait 2 more laps. He's going to jump in. That's an aggressive entry. Just gets it pointed back. That was very dangerous to that pit wall there. Let go of the brakes as late as I could, I should say, to make sure he could then turn that car, because basically those front tires were locked up. That car's just going to go straight until he releases the brakes, but he doesn't want to release the brakes until he has to, just in order to try to get that car woed down. So we'll watch to see. Hopefully no pit penalty for the 87. And I can tell you there was 0 penalty for the 87. He is already down and away. We'll watch to see where he comes out in relation to that 2 and the 12. But what I can tell you is that second pack, it is still shrinking. It's down to about 2.2 seconds from Stockner to Schaus. So there's still a chance. They got to stay persistent. Just cannot give up yet. Now we'll look for Chris Chabot. As I said, he's going to spin on the exit. Caution is going to come out. Just try to get everything he could, and just spun on the racing surface, unfortunately. So that's going to bring out our yellow. That is going to change a lot of things. And that is what I talked about, that danger zone. Durazo and Forston, that is exactly what they did not want to see, because they're going from the top 2 spots. They're going to restart back in the teens here, and it'll be a restart with about 20 to go. So we'll go one more time here. I'll watch that pit exit. And like I said, just nothing, just unfortunately, just a little too quick on the throttle there. Maybe a little bit of a weight jacker adjustment, not quite where he needed to. And of course, you know this is crucial to your race. You got to get everything you can here. So he's just going to he's just throttling up as hard as he can. And right there, actually, there it is right there, the banking transition. You see the right side's just on the white line. As soon as he does that, there's nothing he can do. Loops it around there, and then unfortunately is going to slide onto the track. And it's just enough for iRacing to throw the yellow. Honestly, a lot of times you can probably get away with that, but it was just high enough up that it threw it. And so a lot of drivers probably happy about it. A lot of drivers probably not so happy about it. So this is really going to change the complexion of this thing, because we just threw in from Nicholas Stockner all the way to John Borscht right back into this fight. So it was about a top 10 shootout. Now we've got at least 16 cars. And then we have to see on the pit stop strategy, do we see any drivers take a gamble and stay out, hoping for quick yellows? All right, so looks like it's going to be Stouffer that wins the race off of pit road. And like I mentioned, there is pretty much from Devin, Brock back to Forston. And actually, I'm sorry, Durazo gets the wave around. Forston's going to have to do the wave around as well, Jabot as well. So what we'll do is we'll take a quick break here, courtesy of 40 Racewear, and we'll be right back.
40 Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 40 racing shoes are engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, all the while giving you the comfort needed to complete those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products that let you connect to your sim.
All right, lights are off of the pace car. You can see that 13 building a gap to that pace car, while the other drivers were hustling around to get back to the tail end of the lead lap there. Durazo hit pit road here. So that is going to, like I said, that is going to give us, I believe, 19 cars on the lead lap. And I believe Frank Irwin Jr., he is gambling. He said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and stay out. If there's a quick yellow, I can go from being 2 down to 1 down. And then I can also get my lap back in the same shot. Yeah, I like the gamble from Frank Irwin Jr. I think this is definitely one that it's worth the try. So we'll see here. We're going to restart this thing with 20 to go on the dot. And it is going to be Stouffer leading over Peterson. He is down and away as we get back to green here. And I saw one up against the wall there. I think that was Jason Collins. Looks like everybody is moving, but bit of an odd situation there. So we'll have to unfortunately watch to see if anybody loses the draft on this one. But it looks like at the moment, though, still under green. And nope, caution back out. And it's Tristan Forston involved. And oh no, I was going to say the gamble is perfectly for the 44 of Frank Irwin, but as not the case. He also involved in this incident. So let's go back here. We're going to focus on Forston here because I think this is where it occurs. And so we'll have to wait and see. You can see in front of him here. Oh, it's actually the 44 he's trying to get around, but the problem is he can't pass on the right if I'm not mistaken. Because I think that is going to be kind of you pass on the inside and you're not able to. So we'll go back. We'll kind of watch and see. And I'm not sure on that. Oh my goodness, huge hit. So that's an odd one, truthfully. I can't say exactly how that one occurred, but unfortunately, though, that, like I said, that puts both of those two out of the race here, it looks like, and contention. And so quick yellow here, and that is not something you want to see as well, as that left front tire is waving to the crowd and to the camera. What happened here to Daniel DeRozzo? Did he get caught up in this one and I missed it? Let's go pick it up here at pace. And, oops, I went too far. I apologize, everybody, as I'm trying to catch things as it's happening and in the process pressing bad buttons. All right, so let's go ahead and pick it back up here. And there's the contact between the two of them. And then here's DeRozzo. And I'm wondering, is that 44 going to come right into the path of Daniel? And that's exactly what happens to the 2 car. So that puts him up against the wall. And like we saw, then breaks that right front tire. And then at that point, it's just along for the ride. And so luckily, looks like he able to bring it to pit road, get the fast repair taken on that car back down and away. Looks like Chris Jabot as well. And I like this for Chris as well here because he did the wave around as well. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I just looked back there. I saw him actually get a little bit of front wing replacement on that number 87 car. See if I can get a better shot of it here. I think the answer is going to be no. But yeah, lengthier stop for Chris. I think he opted for some manual. Craig Forsyth on pit road. I believe Craig got one of his laps back, if I'm not mistaken. So that may be either from 3 to 2 down or from 2 to 1. Same thing, a little the timing and scoring update on here for his. But up front, though, pretty much, yeah. So not much is going to change up front, as again, Stouffer is going to still be our leader after that restart. And really, yeah, the only 2 that pitted under that caution were the 2 and the 87, and then, of course, the 99, who I had just mentioned. And that puts Craig up into 19th position after the retirements. And I believe it's going to be 1 lap. Yep, 1 lap down now for Craig after that pit exit miscue we saw him have earlier. So Craig as an admin wants to stay green. Craig as a driver would love for one more crash to put him back in the mix here. So what will happen now? Lights are off. Going to restart again now, this time with 16 laps to go. So what's going to happen again? Just everything's going to continue to ramp up, unfortunately. Unfortunately. So no more fuel save. That's out of the question. These guys are map 1 to the end. And I think at this point, if you're Stouffer, you live on that white line. I think you got to protect that line, and it's going to make it up to them to figure out how to find a way around you. And then it's going to be for these other guys from 2nd, 3rd on back. Where do you go? I mean, when you're mid-pack, you got some things you can play with. You can kind of make some moves, follow the momentum, maybe move yourself up from the 15th position up into the top 10, maybe even the top 5. But once you get to that top 2-3 spots, life gets much, much more difficult. So, like I said, though, I mean, we've got now 18 cars vying for this win of the race. Unfortunately, like I said, tough break there for the 12. The 44, like I said, he was almost in that perfect spot, but then he got involved in an incident that puts him out of it as well. And I think he may have also retired from this event. So I believe that leaves us with, I think 22 cars, I believe, left in this race. So we'll go front, though. We'll watch from our leader here. And hopefully, a little bit of a contact. We saw one there. I say again, everybody's just going to hug the outside wall because you cannot pass to the left here before the start-finish line. So that's why you're seeing that. And you can see, here you go, Stouffer down and away, straight to the inside line. Look at Peterson there, Edson Santos. Edson's going to try to work the top here. Can he clear him? And the answer is going to be yes, unfortunately, able to for Peterson there. I almost wonder if Peterson may be in the wrong fuel map there because Yingling also easily clear of him. And yeah, it's something not where Peterson needed to be there on that restart, unfortunately, as he's now dropped all the way back to 4th and is already under pressure from Hugo Galas. So now we're back to it here. 16 to go, 15 at the line. Watching Yingling, watching Santos. Where do these guys go? Momentum and everything is going to build back up. Finally starting to kind of get these cars fully up to song. And at the line there, it's close there between Stouffer and Santos. Yingling's going to run the top here as well. But again, though, you want to be ahead as soon as you can because, again, no green-white checkers here. And if you get that timely yellow when your nose is ahead of that car and caution comes out, that could either be the end of the race or it could at least let you have the control of the race on the restart. So a lot to play for here. You're going to see a lot of moves being made in these final 15 laps. Again, I think we had a bit of a miscue. I'm looking towards the back. Oh, someone just maybe scuffed the wall a little bit there. I think that was possibly Will Stearns there in the red car. But I'm looking further back. I see Jabot and Durazo. Something happened where they did not get up with the main pack during that restart. So maybe something happened there, unfortunately, with those guys. So right now what we do have is about 16 cars in this lead pack here going to be going for the win. And it is a cluster. And as soon as I say that, caution back out. And it's in that second pack, Chris Jabot involved. And that is going to throw another yellow out, which will be with 13 to go. So we'll take a look and see where this one occurred and how it occurred, I should say. Because, again, it was in that second group here. So let's say you can see the 87, you see the 21 here. So we'll go ahead and put focus on the 87 car as we saw him up against the wall. You see, and the seams are usually the telltale way. You can just kind of watch what's going on here. And so you can see the 96, he goes down to the inside line. That puts Bill Burrell in the middle here, 3. And as they come through turn number 3, everything still looks okay. And then the 87 and the 21 meet there. Again, I'm not sure. It's hard to say. Oh, man. And just to add worse for wear there, just a little bit of contact with the 2, just barrel rolls the 87 car into the outside wall. Lands on his wheels, though, able to grab a gear, keep going there. And then for Durazo, he's got to hope that didn't really hurt his car for the fast repair side of things. So we'll jump back live because, as I mentioned, of course, Chris Jabot on pit road in that number 87. And then also, though, John Borst on pit road for the 86 car. And I believe has already serviced his car. And wait, nope, he's heading pit road now. I'd be curious to see if this is just for tires or did he have any damage. Didn't see anything obvious repairs, so maybe just trying to say, hey, you know what? I was towards the back of the lead pack anyway. Let's just try tires. So he's going to roll on out there. His teammate right behind him. Fast repair done. He is going to roll back out as well. And that's going to put things back to this group here. And look at the top 2. Remember when I talked about Peterson having a bad restart there and falling back? At the time of the yellow, he was all the way back up in the second, so he is back in this one again. And so, yeah, so now for Peterson here, he's kind of got a new regroup, and that's going to force that 13 car. Okay, I did this before, and it worked great. I'm going to have to try something different here because I've got the same guy behind me on this next restart. And I talked about admin versus driver. Driver Craig, very happy, back on the lead lap in that number 99 car. So Craig down and away. That's going to bring things back to Stouffer, which will be 1 to go here at the line. So again, that brings us 19 cars on the lead lap. And now the next car a lap down is Jason Collins, who's 3 laps down Bill Burrell in the same lap as well as him. And then another couple laps, or another lap, I should say, to 27 of Devin Brock being 4 down. So there you go. Lights are off of the pace car. And everybody's going to start to get themselves organized here. And so I see a lot of guys rolling the bottom here. I'm wondering if anybody underfueled the cars or what's going on here. But you can see a lot of gap being built here. So this is a tough spot to be in too because you don't want to slow down, catch up, slow down, catch up. Play when you start to kind of have to re-close gaps because then the next guy behind you does. And then if someone breaks just a little later than you're expecting, you get situations like that. So hopefully not going to be the case here. It looks like everybody's starting to get a little bit more organized. But like I said last time, what you're going to see is these guys are just going to rim ride the wall here as they get through 3 and 4 to get to the restart zone because, again, you cannot pass to the left. So you want to basically stay up against that outside wall, not let anybody pass you to the outside. And then once you get into the cross start-finish line, that's where then at that point you can go to the left to pass. So that's why you see these guys, like I said, as they come through 3 and 4, they're going to be fully up against the wall here. pretty much like Daniel Durazo was there, just for a nice little reference that he was able to give us here. So yeah, so that's what we're about to see here as we come through 3 and 4. Again, control car once more here is Christopher. And there you go. You can see the seams. He is at the absolute top of the scene. He has to decide, do you go early? Do you go late? What did he do different? I'm looking at the gaps between some of these guys. You saw where the 20 was in relation. Now he is down and away. It looks like a much better restart for Eric Peterson as we are down here 10 to go at the line. Stouffer still leads over Peterson, Santos, Stockner, and Cohan. Saw Cohan there. He's going to try to take a look on the inside of Stockner. He will get that spot. Move Nick up into 4th for the time being. Here comes Peterson. A huge run down the backstretch. He has a nose ahead. Now Santos the nose ahead of both of them. Can he clear? Yes. Peterson to the front, now able to clear that number 13 car, as Peterson now is going to try to bring this thing around here with 9 to go. We talked about that is where the leader is at the most risk, is on those restarts. So now Peterson is going to do the same thing that Stouffer did. He's got to just protect that white line for all he's worth and just hope if and when there's another caution, he wants to have that nose cone ahead of that 13. But Santos, again, he's going to continue to run that 3rd lane. Now he ducks back, trying to get the momentum built up. Jeff Heisong decided he's ready to play here as well. Put him in the mix as they try to go 4 wide through 3 and 4. Coming around to 8 to go here. Again, it's going to now be all about that track position and trying to find a way to work the momentum here as it runs right now, though it is currently between Stouffer and Peterson. But like I said, watch for that 3rd lane. It could happen here at some point. You can see a pretty big separation there from Will Stearns here all the way back to Gary Laverne. About 1.4, 1.5 seconds. That is still in the range to get back up there. So they can't get too antsy and try to force the issue early. But right now we have 12 cars, and there they are all here right in frame. These are the drivers at the moment vying for the win. And like I said, it's now, I mean, it's the joke about LA traffic. I mean, that's what you got here. You've got all the lanes pretty much covered. These guys, again, there's no fuel saving. Everybody's map 1. They're just trying to take any and every momentum opportunity they can. And then again, if you have a chance to lead a lane, be it the middle or the outside lane, you're going to take it. And you have to also be careful not to give too much room, because then you might see another lane get formed or someone try to squeeze in between 2 drivers if there's an opening that finds a way. As you see there, one down on the apron, he's going to try to make the move. It's not obligation for Peterson to give him the spot, and he's going to get turned. Huge wreck here in 1 and 2, and it's going to involve a few other drivers there, and that is a huge wreck there, and that's the danger of trying to make that apron work. That is, I don't know if it's technically out of bounds, but Peterson at that point, he doesn't have to give up the lane. He was running the inside line, and he was where he needed to be. And so that's not going to be a happy one, I can tell you now, for that number 36 car. Unfortunately, he's going to try to bring this thing back around, but that's going to be a huge, huge hit for him. Let's go back. We'll see if we can get another shot of it here. And I mean, so you can already see there's the 124 down on the apron. And then obviously at some point he's going to have to try to find a way up there. But like I said, I mean, at this point, Peterson's on the white line. I mean, that's his line. And so unfortunately he gets turned around to the inside. And then you can see right behind as that's happening, there's also some contact there. I think, again, probably just reaction, everything going on here, as they're about 4 wide as well. Here you see Cohan there, Heisong, I believe that is as well. And I think, honestly, kind of 2 separate incidents at the same time from what I'm seeing. And then they're also right there. I think that is the 42, if I'm not, yeah, Wayne Campbell. And just huge, huge hits. Also, you can see there, unfortunately, Will Stearns gets a piece as Nick Cohan's car just throws pieces, then comes back. And then Gary Laverne, he gets a big piece. I'm watching, look at Craig here trying to pick his way through this thing. And yeah, just unfortunately a lot of damaged cars in this incident here. Peterson, Durazo as well, another broken left front here for that man. We've talked about his lack of luck at the end of races. He had a great run last week at Watkins Glen. Unfortunately, the bad luck has returned for him. And now we have a number of drivers on pit road. You see the 124 there. You see the 60 on pit road, as well as the 2, the 18, the 85. A lot of these guys just having to take tows, unfortunately. And so, yeah, that's like I said, that's a tough one for me. I've known Peterson for a long time. He put himself in such a good position. There was actually able to clear Stouffer on that restart, get back to the inside line there, and actually be in control of this thing. And so now, and the other thing I got to mention is, again, there are no green-white checkers here. So at this point, we're going to have an unofficial green-white checker because we're going to get the 1 to go with 3 to go, restart with 2 to go. And at that point, this would be the race. So the only thing on that is there is no multiple attempts. So basically, if a caution comes out, that's when the field's frozen. And so for now, if you're Chris Stouffer, you're between a rock and a hard place because you don't want to go too early and give up. You got to figure out where you're going to make your move or how you're going to kind of protect yourself. Because you saw, where I went last time, the 36 car was able to get around me. Now I've got the 20 car behind me. He is going to be a championship rival for me. I can't let him get by either. So he's going to have to try to do something a little different. We've seen before, I feel like, with these two, if I'm not mistaken, where maybe a little bit of gamesmanship where maybe Edson rolls a couple tenths off the back of Stouffer and so on and so forth. So there's a lot that can happen on this restart. So all of these drivers are going to have to be ready for anything here. And again, it's not something that you want to see. You don't want to, of course, have any late yellows. But if you're Stouffer, you know the field behind you. They're going to be antsy. They're going to want to jump on this thing. So if I'm Chris here, I think I probably take this as late as I possibly can, just to keep the field stacked up as tight as possible, because that's going to be his best chance. Just for, let's say you don't want to win it that way, but for a quick yellow to be able to kind of force that to happen. But like I said, right now, though, I mean, you see what I'm seeing right now. Look at the gaps that we have still between all these cars. They need to get lined up together, get within that couple of car lengths of each other. I want to say that it's within like 1 or 2 car lengths of one another. But right now you can see all these guys have huge gaps between them. And so they got to really get everything tightened up here on this restart. There's a couple that are good to go. But yeah, so I mean, if I'm Stouffer right now, I'm not feeling great about this almost 1 second gap to the 20 car. So I think for him, he's got to kind of either back it down even a little further or whatever it may be again. And I don't hear the race communication, so I'm sure there's discussions being made. But yeah, so this, like I said, this is the last restart. There's no question about it. But yeah, this is where, again, these guys are going to start to get a little bit more aggressive with one another. And again, I'm watching the gaps that are being made. Now you can see Edson's right there on the gearbox. This is the gaps that these guys want to see, I think, as an admin. You can see there Hugo is all over the rear of Matt Wagner. And again, you can see a little bit of separation. And I believe, yep, we are down and away. And it's a pretty decent spread here. So we'll see, is this the right time for Stouffer to go, or is this maybe a little too soon? We'll wait here as we come through 1 and 2, coming to 2 to go here. And we'll see. I say they are side by side by the time they get into 1. That isn't a bad thing for Stouffer. That prevents the big run down the backstretch. But now it's all about who can have that nose ahead if and when a yellow is to occur. But I say, here goes. Watch Matt Wagner. Watch Hugo Galas here. Matt's got just a nose ahead. Can he clear? He does clear the outside. He clears the inside line. Matt third to first. Big move for that 6 car. Now it's going to be up to Stouffer to try to find a way back here. White flag is out. 1 to go here at this point. It is a race to the finish. There will be no yellow. You see Hugo, he's trying to find a way to go. At this point, though, Stouffer's got to protect the middle. He can't give any room for margin to see anybody try to sneak through there. Schaus try to find a way to sneak in here as well. But Hugo's going to stay tight on the 6 car. And right now it's going to be Matt that still has the nose head. A little bit of contact. He had trouble in the back there. And it's going to be at the line. Matt Wagner will get the win here tonight at Auto Club. Huge move there coming to on that final restart. Goes from 3rd to 1st. Able to get double draft there and jump all the way to the front. That is going to be a very happy driver of that number 6. I saw, unfortunately, some contact a little further back coming to the checkered. And so, unfortunately, some drivers probably didn't have the nights end the way they wanted to. I think the 86 was one there. You see, actually, a little bit of contact. We'll go back one more time. Looks like same thing, just drivers kind of fighting for all the same real estate there. Craig's right behind them for this as well. And has, 87 up into the 42 a little bit, and that puts him up into the 46. And unfortunately, that's where Unfortunately, looks like the 86 winds up getting the worst out of that one. And then down on the inside there, I saw a few other cars going around. I think that actually may have been the 87, yeah, going off-road. And so somehow in all of that chaos, Craig still finds a way to bring it home in the 7th position. But man, I say we'll jump back live because like I said, we're going to have a very happy driver right there celebrating here on the front row. Or on the start-finish line. Words are hard. So while we watch Matt celebrate, he's going to find his way into that victory lane. Before we get to our interviews, let's go ahead and pull up those final results as Matt Wagner will get the win over Hugo Gloss Christopher. And you can see it's showing as a tie for that third spot or second spot. So I got to see if it's going to be Stouffer, if it's going to be Hugo. Either way, great job by the two of those guys. Schaus and Santos bring home 4th and 5th. Larry Yingling again talked about his strategy and it worked out well, kept that track position for him, brings home 6th. Craig Forsyth got those 2 laps back, brings it home 7th. Stockner, Kelly, Campbell, 8th, 9th, and 10th. And then you got Joseph Morales, Gary Laverne, Chris Jabot, and John Borst are lead lap finishers. And then unfortunate drivers a lap or more down, including Will Stearns, Bill Burrell, Jason Collins, and Devin Brock there. And then continuing down, like I say, it was unfortunately a tough one for a lot of drivers tonight, including Nick Cohan. We saw Eric Peterson. That, like I said, that one's going to sting for him, I know. And then Jeff Heisong, Daniel Durazo, Tresson Forson, same situation. He was in such a good spot there at the end for he and Durazo. Frank Irwin Jr., Shane Coker, and then some hardware issues, I believe, for Charles Teed. And then unfortunately, just that tough night for Jim Herrick. I appreciate the kind words. I'm glad to have you over here watching with Green White Checker TV to chat with some drivers tonight. We're gonna, I got to find out who our official top 3 are because, like I said, it was showing as a tie for me. So I'm gonna do some quick details here. And what we can also do, actually, now that I think about it. Let's go back. Let's take a look at the line here between Stouffer and Galaz and see if we can maybe get a good look at it too. Because like we said, I mean, it was tight between the two of them here. We'll try to get the better angle that we can. Let's see if we can, this will probably be our best shot here at the line. So we'll see if I can be quick on the stopwatch. And, oh man, that is close. And according to what I have on the official results, it is going to be Hugo in that second place over the 13 of Christopher. But, man, what a drive there at the end by all of these guys. So let's go ahead and let's start off then with this. We'll go with Stouffer and have a chat with him. Like I said, this is always one of those tough interviews that probably, I would say happy, but probably not super happy because you always hope for a little bit more. So we're going to bring Stouffer in over here. And Chris, obviously not the way you wanted that last restart to go, I'm sure. But it seemed like both restarts there, unfortunately, did it feel like no matter what you did there, were you kind of just a sitting duck in that situation? Because we saw Peterson able to get the one. Unfortunately, he had that incident that got you back in a great spot again. And then obviously the last one where you had Hugo covered, but then Matt kind of popped up out of nowhere and able to clear the two of you there.
Yeah, I really was a sitting duck. Had I been able to wait all the way till the green and, maybe they check up, and mayhem happens behind me, but I wasn't going to do any shenanigans and follow the rules and, go when I had to. I just, I tried what I did. And I felt really good until I saw Matt just have a rocket ship and just go around me. But it was a great move by him to get that kind of run to be able to do that. So that was pretty good.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, crazy, obviously ending to the race. Otherwise, I mean, I would say pretty calm. Obviously, there was the one incident that was really the only yellow until the very end there, where honestly, still not even 100% what happened. I think Teed maybe had some sort of a hardware issue or something. So his car just kind of went left and disappeared. But I mean, for you initially you kind of went up front. You got towards the front there and tried to kind of hold towards the front. But at some point, did you then say, okay, I got to run that fuel number at the end? Because it seemed like obviously the magic number was like 32, I think 32, 33-ish. And if you were running up front just full tilt, it was about 29. So was there one point during the green flag runs, did you just say, okay, I got to go kind of run my number versus try to control this thing outright?
Yeah, I got up front. I started I think fourth or something like that. I got up front early and was holding down first. And then I was like, hold on. I about halfway through the fuel stand, and I was like, hold on, we got a fuel number we need to make. So I backed off and just put in fuel map 3 and just found somewhere I could just kind of chill out and hang. And it was like that way for most of the race, to be honest with you, because there's always a fuel number to hit. And then at about we had a caution right before about halfway, and I was still doing the same fuel map 3 to save fuel just so I'd have less to have to take on the last stop. And if it would have went green, that would have been great. I think for me, I don't know how everybody else would have shaped out of that, but I was really betting on having a little bit shorter pit stop, possibly even just taking tire or not just taking fuel and no tires, and trying to get back out there and just hold down hold down the lead. So in the end of the day, I was still up there. I was still battling for it. It's just like you said, you know, having to go so early before no, basically in turn 4 at the latest. It just allowed the guy behind you just to get such a run. And so, the first time I tried one thing, the second time I tried something different. And, both times didn't work out. I ended up second, and I ended up third. Actually, it was another great move there. I think Hugo snuck in there in the last second there and got second. So if that's correct me if I'm wrong. But
Yeah, that's what
no, that was
I was trying to show too, and it was showing literally a tie between the two of you. So I went ahead and I was able to upload the results, and yeah, it looks like it was maybe like a thousandth of a second between the two of you. And I mean, we tried to pause it at the time at the line, and it was it was so close I couldn't even tell.
either way. I mean, it was great race to the end. I mean, I'm not upset. It was fun. I will admit it did get pretty boring there about halfway through when you're just sitting around, saving fuel, just staying in the pack. It's just like, oh, okay, and just take the laps down. Let's get there. But towards the end, strategy started to play out, and then it started getting wild. Cautions breed cautions too, and that's what happened at the end. So we'll be back next race, and we'll try to put her in victory lane. But I'm not mad. Congrats to Matt for the win. It was well deserved. It was a great move there to get it, and then of course to hold me off. And so that was excellent. As always, I'll shout out to 40 Racewear. Go to 40racewear.com. They got great boots I use for every race. Got gloves, other accessories, and of course we got a sim racing expo coming up, a sim gaming expo, I guess, coming up here in September. So make sure to check that out too.
Yeah, it's Sim Racing Expo to us. I think that's what I call it
Okay.
too. That's all we care
Okay.
about. So, but
Right.
yeah, and like I said, I mean, and also on the big picture side, like I said, with us this being now the halfway point of the season, the drop weeks haven't even kicked in yet. So that's also something for you to kind of keep an eye on. I'm sure on the championship side, because right now you show sitting fourth, and that's with one less start. So it'll be fun
Oh,
to see
oh,
once
don't.
that kicks
I
in
don't.
too.
I don't want to know. I don't.
Oh, that's right.
Every
No,
time
there
yep,
doesn't exist.
every
There are no
time.
points.
That's right. No points. Every time I look at the points, my season just goes to
That's
crap.
right.
So
All right.
I will not be looking at the points until the last race, maybe if it matters. But
That sounds like a
and
better
even then,
plan.
yeah, even then, I might not even do it.
But yeah, great job tonight, Chris. And yeah, definitely say I think we still got at least one more race before the expo, but definitely looking forward to us. I we were able to unfortunately chat with Jim after his tough night too, but yeah, it's gonna be really cool to have the guys over with 40 over there. So but yeah, great job tonight, and look forward to seeing you on track again soon, man.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, that is Christopher in that 13. Again, just didn't quite have the restart he was hoping for. And then we jump over now. We're going to bring in our runner-up, Hugo Galaz, that it was by about 1,000th of a second. Hugo, you're able to get third, and you made some big moves at the very end and put yourself in that spot to get to the top 3 or so. Was it stressful? Was it fun to kind of have to be so aggressive there at the end?
Hey, Gael. Good night. How are you? And well, my heart is still beating faster. um, okay, I say in the last restart, what do I do? I follow Matt, and and I do it. And even in the start finish line, I push Matt for the second place. Well, it's a good result for me, and but I want one, but two. But I sorry, I get win, but I can't. But I'm really happy with this result.
No, it's. I mean, like yeah, like you said, and we went back when we were watching it. We talked to Chris, and yeah, coming to the checker, we see you follow Matt to the apron, and like you said, you go right to him, and basically, yeah, almost give him a bump draft to get you, and that's what it took. I mean, that got you the second place. So, like you said, you did a really good job. The strategy was perfect. Where everybody else wanted to go to the second lane or the third lane, and so you decided to stay at the bottom. That way you could follow the inside line the best, and it worked out perfectly for you. So I'll say it's the second podium. You had third at Gateway. You have second here tonight at Auto Club. So that leaves you just one more spot to get to, Hugo. Say so. So what's the track you think? Where's the win coming? Maybe this season.
I hope so, but I want one in Indianapolis.
That's a good one. Yeah, I take that.
Yeah, but well, this today I was really comfortable with this setup in the middle lane and the high line. Um, but the car was great. And run with these guys is great also. Yeah, and I hope uh, they win soon.
I mean, I think so, honestly. I mean, it's one of those things you keep. I always say you put yourself in position, and then just one of those times the luck will turn your way, and then saying that's all it takes. I feel like in these is you just keep putting yourself in position, and then yeah, you just get that one break you need to make it happen. So, again, really great job tonight, Hugo, getting that second. Again, it was a great move there too to stay on the bottom and get kind of push Matt to get yourself the best spot you could. So yeah, before we let you go though, always got to give you the floor, and thank you and shout out for the runner up tonight.
Thank you, Kyle. Well, thank you for your job, Kyle, in the broadcast. To the league, Craig, and the other guys, on Alten Autosport for support me, and and today also Shane Kosher and Gary Loven. We are together in the Discord, and support me in the last lap. And that's all. I'll see you in the next race. And congrats, Matt, for the win. My
Great
friend
job.
Matt.
Yes, yeah, no, Matt's gonna be very happy. We get to talk to him next, but yeah, Hugo, again, great job tonight, man. Like I said, it's been a lot of fun seeing you get these results, and like I said, I don't think it's too far away. So just keep doing what you're doing. It's obviously working, and look forward to get you with that victory lane interview soon.
I hope so. Thank you, Gail. Bye.
All right, that is our runner up here, Hugo Galaz. That leaves us one fella left to chat with, but he's making me do some extra work. He says I got to do a quick thing real quick before I can pull him in. So let's try to get it set up real quick for him. All right. Let's go ahead and pull in that race winner. That is going to be this fella here, that number 6 of Matt Wagner. And Matt was putting me in work, so I got to put something on real quick before you have a chance to pull me in. So we got a good luck charm here tonight, Matt.
Yeah, we got a good luck charm. It's a new bundle of joy in the Wagner household. Her name is Luna. She's about 10 weeks old. She is my pride and joy right now. Right now, her and the other cat are trying to get along, which is going to take some time. So we saw some improvements this morning. So yeah, I'm pretty proud of that one.
No, I'm super happy for you. It's a lot of fun, and I say first things you gotta make sure you don't scare her celebrating too hard. But I mean, obviously an easy race for you, Matt. You go from 24th to first, and nothing ever happened in between. There was no stress of trying to work the second pack to get back to the main pack, and I mean, there was a lot going on. You got to the front pretty early on, but then just unfortunately that pit stop cycle dropped you into that second group. And was it just kind of a fight to kind of try to get the guys to kind of work together on the draft swap, or does it seem like it was kind of maybe a little bit of miscommunication there, where who was going to lead it, who was going to take over? I mean, take us through that from your point of view. I mean, were you guys chatting in iRacing, saying, "Hey, we got to do this," or what was going on there behind the wheel for you all?
Yeah, so let's talk about the incident on pit road. I noticed when I was coming about my pit road entry, then all of a sudden, I don't know who it was. I think it was Nick Cohan. He swerved up to the right. I got front wing damage, and that was pretty unfortunate. Dropped myself back into the second pack. But yeah, it gets aggravating at times because you have so much experience in these cars, and you've done it so many times, and it's like you want to be the guy parading, helping the field to get back up toward the front, and it's like I said, it's tedious. I mean, sometimes it's a little bit nerve wracking, but those guys were doing a pretty good job. I'm not gonna say I can do better, but probably if there's probably only one person I'd probably swap draft that I work really well with is probably Edson. He's probably the best swap drafter in this field. But it is frustrating at times. But we got lucky enough got caught a couple of cautions to bring us back up toward the field, and unfortunately, feel bad for Eric that. I think it was Nicholas Stockner that was on the apron of the racetrack. It really truly was Eric's race to win. I really feel bad for Eric. He's got his one win, but having 2 in one season, it's pretty good.
That was a really good run. I just saw you also make sure you pass Tech there during your burnout, so we'll have to have a chat about that. But yeah, no, same thing here. I was definitely gutted as well for Eric there. But then I mean, we got to go to the restart. I mean, we saw on the previous restart that Eric was able to get around Stouffer there on the restart to take over, and then the next restart he's got to focus on Edson. And he's able to keep the two of them side by side. But then here comes Matt Wagner, huge head of steam. I mean, did you have any real thought that it's like, okay, I'm going to be able to clear both of these guys? Or is like, okay, let me see if I can at least get that nose ahead, maybe get that timely caution before the white comes out, and maybe grab it that way. I mean, because to me, I mean, I didn't see that coming.
Mm-hmm. So, do you want me to share my secret? Okay,
I don't know if you wanna.
Well, I'll do it anyway, just for the audience. So, I was kind of like running up top a little bit more. I was hoping Hugo would go to the bottom of the racetrack. Me running to the top of the racetrack means I have more racetrack to run. So I'm trying to build that run going into turn number 3. If I build that run going to 3, I'll have enough momentum to try and at least pass him. And I did have enough momentum, and it kind of worked out. I got really lucky. I just the way things fell and that forward momentum. That was just lightning in a bottle, I guess. This kind of makes up Watkins Glen, as you would say, because I remember the netcode incident, and that gutted me pretty hard.
Yeah, no, and that was one that Andrew and I talked about. It's like it was like I said, netcode was tough through that carousel there at Watkins Glen, and yeah, you're exactly right. You're in such a good spot there as well, and so I know we were both the same thing. It's like like that, especially when you're in that spot where you're going for a podium, and yeah, so no, we were hurting for you there as well. So no, it's one of those things where you got to kind of put those past weeks behind you and just kind of focus forward and like I said, and then do what you did tonight, which was
right.
You had to work hard tonight. I mean, it wasn't just an easy drive from the front, stay up front. I mean, start from the back, work to the front, fell back in the pack, and then had to come back again. So, I mean, you had a busy evening.
Oh, I tell you what, I had a lot of fun. Driving from the back to the front was probably the most fun I had in a while. Usually I like to start up front. I was like, I'm going after my qualifying lap. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start in the back. Let's just do it. And then I heard on the radio, Christopher, he's like, show off. I'm like, no, I'm having fun. Why not? I mean, anyway, this is great medicine for us. I'm pretty honored for this win. It takes a lot off my shoulders, especially losing at Homestead by a mere fractions of a second. That kind of made that up too.
Yeah, I was saying if you spy over on YouTube at some point, it looks like at least one driver's just hopping onto iRacing and biting the Delara and having fun. So you might have someone to maybe reach out and take under your wing a little bit. So it's been cool to see a few new faces on the YouTube chat as well. But Matt, before we let you go and enjoy the new addition to the family, definitely got to give you the floor, man, and any thanks and shouts for that win this evening.
Oh, she is actually scratching my leg right now. I'd like to shout out all my Track Rocket teammates in the Discord with me. You guys are great. I love you guys. Thanks for letting me be part of your team. A big special shout out to Ryan Kelly. I got him to. He's going to race in the part of the Sim Racing Expo up toward in September. I'll be meeting him. I'm looking forward to it. Most of these other guys, it's going to be a lot of fun. Plus, I will be doing some broadcast duties. And
shake off the rust.
Yeah, I better shake off the rust. I'm going to have a good time. I'd like to thank George and Otto for hosting that whole thing. It was just announced. I get to meet an IndyCar driver. Oh, a surprise! You got to read about it. You got to read about it. Anyway, I don't think I have anything else. I'm missing Andrew Wood. I wish he was here.
He's busy having real life stuff. He'll be back. I think he's back to suffering or suffering this, or I was looking for being a sucker and suffering with me here in the booth starting next week. So we'll have Mr. Wood back here for the second half of the season. So although we'll see, maybe you want him gone again if you're able to get a win when he's not here. So we'll have to keep an eye on that.
Yeah. And one more thanks to. I'm sorry, Eric. I know this was yours. I feel bad for him. I feel bad that I'm just one of those drivers who feel kind of bad. I feel like one was kind of taken away from him, but you know what I mean. Other than that, Gael, continue to keep doing the broadcast. Do what you do. You're doing a fantastic job. Love you guys, Area 51. I got a kitty to take care of.
Yep, go take care of that kitty, man. Great job again, Matt. Go enjoy this one, and go be cat dad.
All right, thank you, guys.
All right, that is our race winner in that number 6 of Matt Wagner. Again, started 24th, brings it home in the top spot. Again, a lot of stuff he had going on tonight before he got to that point. And so, so great run by him. And And yeah, I mean, it was a wild one time. A lot of strategy. It seemed like it was kind of clean and green, and then just unfortunately kind of got a little rough at the very end there. And yeah, like I said, unfortunately, a good number of drivers that had great results going just didn't have the last little bit that they wanted to. And so yeah, so there's going to be a couple that definitely one that got away from them. So, but yeah, that'll do it for us this evening. Like I said, really appreciate everybody that popped in here and watched and chimed in. Like I said, love having you guys. Love the if you have any questions, let's say that's what we're here for. We love to have you all and be able to chat with you all about it. So that will do it for us tonight, though. So as always, though, until next time, take care, stay safe, and we'll see you on Friday night. Until then, have a good night.